Welcome to the vault, inside the Crypt of Knights. And today we're doing a tribute, not just to a great actress, but to one of the greatest to ever do it when it came to character work. I'm talking about Catherine O'Hara. Now look, Catherine wasn't the type who kicked down the door demanding attention. She didn't chase headlines. She didn't do that whole, "look at me, I'm acting" routine. She just showed up, committed harder than anyone else in the room, and somehow left with the whole movie in her purse like it belonged to her. And what made her special was that she was never boxed in. Catherine O'Hara could do comedy, obviously, but she could also do satire, heartbreak, horror, prestige drama, voice acting, the full range. She was one of those rare performers where you didn't see the performance. You saw a person. You saw a character. And now that everybody's rediscovering her genius like it was brand new, I'm just sitting here like, yeah, no kidding. Some of us never forgot. So let's start where we always start in the vault, with the stuff that deserved way more respect than it ever got. These were the four most underrated projects in Catherine O'Hara's career.
After Hours, 1985.
Ordinary word processor Paul Hackett experiences the worst night of his life after he agrees to visit Marcy, a Soho resident that he met that evening at a coffee shop.
First up was After Hours, directed by Martin Scorsese. Yeah, that Scorsese. And this movie? This movie was a full-on fever dream. It felt like a paranoid late-night anxiety attack disguised as a comedy, where everything got weirder and more dangerous the longer the night dragged on. Catherine O'Hara came into this story like she belonged there, like she was part of the nightmare itself. And even early in her career, you could already see that fearless energy, that willingness to go strange, to go uncomfortable, to go all the way. She wasn't trying to be likable. She wasn't trying to wink at the camera. She was just being real inside the madness, and that was exactly why it worked.
Away We Go, 2009.
A couple expecting their first child travels the US seeking the perfect family home. They have misadventures and find fresh connections with relatives and old friends who help them discover home on their own terms for the first time.
Then you had Away We Go, 2009, directed by Sam Mendes. And this one hit different because it wasn't trying to win you over with big jokes or flashy moments. It was a quiet movie, an adult movie, the kind that sneaks up on you when you're not ready for it, and suddenly you realize you've been emotionally ambushed. Honestly, it's one of the most underrated films you can stream today, and I mean that. It doesn't get talked about enough, but it's genuinely one of those movies that feels more real the older you get. Catherine O'Hara played the mother of John Krasinski's character, the future mother-in-law, the grandmother figure who's supposed to be part of the support system. Except she's also her own person with her own life in motion. In the movie, she's literally preparing to move to Antwerp, a whole month before her granddaughter is even born, which is both hilarious and kind of heartbreaking, because it tells you everything about that family dynamic in one decision. And Catherine played it perfectly. Funny on the surface, but under that humor there was distance, there was regret. There was that subtle ache of people who didn't quite grow into the roles life expected them to. It was the kind of performance that reminded you Catherine O'Hara didn't just do comedy. She did humanity.
The Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993.
Jack Skellington, king of Halloween Town, discovers Christmas Town, but his attempts to bring Christmas to his home causes confusion.
And speaking of humanity, let's talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas. This was voice work, yes, but not the kind where somebody just showed up, read a few lines, and called it a day. Catherine voiced Sally, and she gave that character a soul. There was loneliness in it, but also intelligence, warmth, quiet strength. The performance was so gentle and so layered that you honestly forgot there was an actor behind it, because Sally felt alive. That was a gift. And Catherine O'Hara had it.
Temple Grandin, 2010.
A biopic of Temple Grandin, an autistic woman who has become one of the top scientists in the humane livestock handling industry.
Based on the inspirational true story, Temple Grandin features O'Hara as Temple's Aunt Anne, who owns a cattle ranch where Temple initially learns about the business of raising and producing cattle. O'Hara delivers one of her most overlooked performances, which is full of heart and passion, showcasing the actress's highly underrated talent in dramatic, serious roles. While she may not be the star of the movie, O'Hara is a pure delight, and it is refreshing for audiences to see her in a non-comedic role, making Temple Grandin one of her must-see films. All right, now let's move on to the iconic tier, the stuff that cemented her forever.
Number 4. Beetlejuice, 1988.
The spirits of a deceased couple are harassed by an unbearable family that has moved into their home and hire a malicious spirit to drive them out.
At number 4, we have Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton. Catherine played Delia Dietz, and this character was pure, pretentious snobbery, a woman so committed to her own artistic nonsense that she was practically floating above reality. And what was amazing was that Catherine played it totally straight. She didn't undercut it. She didn't parody it. She became it. That was why she was funny, because she fully believed she was important, even while being completely ridiculous. She understood the assignment before the assignment even existed.
Number 3. Home Alone, 1990.
An 8-year-old troublemaker, mistakenly left home alone, must defend his home against a pair of burglars on Christmas Eve.
At number 3, Home Alone. Look, I don't care how many times people memed this movie or treated it like a holiday cartoon. It didn't work without Catherine O'Hara. That panic, that guilt, that I will cross continents to get to my child energy, she made that real. She made Kevin's mom feel like a human being, not a joke. She brought warmth, fear, determination, and still kept the movie light enough to stay fun. That wasn't easy. She made it look easy.
Number 2. Schitt's Creek.
After being a victim of fraud, Johnny Rose and his family go from extremely wealthy to penniless overnight. The only asset left to them is a small, unsophisticated town, Schitt's Creek. They relocate there. Culture shock ensues.
At number 2, Schitt's Creek. And if we were being honest, Moira Rose was one of the greatest comedic performances in television history. The wigs, the outfits, the vocabulary that sounded like it came out of a haunted thesaurus. It was absurd in the best way. But here was why it worked. Beneath all of that theatrical madness, Catherine gave Moira a heart. She didn't mock her. She protected her. She made her real. That was why Moira was iconic. That was why people loved her. And that was why Catherine O'Hara was untouchable.
Number 1. Best in Show, 2000.
A behind-the-scenes look into the highly competitive and cutthroat world of dog shows through the eyes of a group of ruthless dog owners.
And at number 1, no hesitation, Best in Show. This was it. This was the crown. This was her magnum opus. Improvised comedy wasn't easy. You couldn't fake timing. You couldn't fake character consistency. You couldn't fake that "I'm completely insane but also completely believable" energy. And Catherine? She owned that movie. Every line, every facial expression, every emotional breakdown, every ridiculous moment. She committed so hard that you forgot it was acting. She made absurdity feel real and reality feel ridiculous. That wasn't just comedy. That was mastery. Catherine O'Hara wasn't just funny. She was precise. She understood tone, timing, character, and rhythm at a level most performers never reached. She knew when to push and when to pull back. She never begged for the spotlight. The spotlight just found her anyway. She was one of those rare artists who made every project better just by being in it, and somehow did it all like it was effortless. So yeah, Catherine O'Hara wasn't just a comedy legend. She was vault material. Forever. Now go watch Best in Show tonight. then hit After Hours, then do yourself a favor and rewatch Schitt's Creek like you're studying cinema. Because you are. And Catherine O'Hara? She was one of the best professors you'll ever have. Thank you so much for tuning into The Vault, and please keep watching The Crypt of Knights.